Okay, we should be about ready to start. Yes. Jay was trying to figure out streaming, but his computer does not have a microphone, or at least does not have a working microphone, so he is unfortunately unable to be streaming. So if someone else could do it, that would be nice. Wants a camera. Cool. You don't need a camera. You just need to be listening to me. Okay, is anybody going to join me? Anyone is more than welcome to join. All right, we are underway. So, Michaela and Luke with Red Yellow and GDI High and Super Edos with Blue Green. So, starting off with this move, get your queen out, get your bishop out. We all know this part. Okay, so they go for the queen's pawn defense, and let's see if Luke goes with a Skywalker. I do expect a Skywalker. Ooh, double king pawn advance. So, no Skywalker today, unfortunately. Thanos also moving out the queen pawn. Pretty standard stuff. But yeah, given it was Luke playing, and he's supposedly the inventor of the Skywalker, that is what I expected, so a bit disappointed, but it's okay. It'll still be some exciting stuff. Yep. Both red and yellow get their queens out, and both blue and green get their queens out. Pretty standard stuff. We've all seen this before. We all know this. Okay, yes, I do like that move, generally, from red yellow. It activates your bishop line, it blocks the queen line, and it's protected by your partner's queen, so it's usually a pretty safe bet. So they both go for it for both red and yellow. And now, as you can see, there are going to be all these ideas along the diagonal. Boom, fun stuff's going to be coming. Although for green, it's not as much of an issue because this pawn is going to be blocking the red bishop from taking this diagonal. But yes, now the red pawn comes forward and the red knight comes forward. This is all standard stuff. Hopefully we can get some tactics starting. Some fun stuff. Okay. Pawn forward, blocking the bishop's diagonal. Makes sense. And like I said, because of this pawn here, green isn't as vulnerable to the same kind of idea, but red can do something like this to get the bishop out and get some pressure on blue. So we'll see if that happens. Okay, green now deciding what to develop. The queen could have come out here, but this would have led to some trades and some problems because of that pawn being vulnerable, so the queen can't really come out. So it decides just to get the knight out. Makes sense. Since this pawn is going to be blocking the queen's diagonal anyway, it doesn't really matter that your knight is in the way. And it can stop yellow from doing stuff like this and accessing this file here. So yeah, now red also brings the knight out. Blue could bring the knight out or the pawn out. That's what they're considering. Both make sense. Brings the queen out. That's also good. It's good to get your queen out. This is 4-player chess after all. You get your queens out, you go for mate. That's what happens. Okay. Yes, I do like that idea from yellow. That's why I like this pawn advance thing. Thank you, Windows. Do you want to join me? I'm chilling in the Discord right now, but I'm not, but nobody else, well, Jay's there, but he doesn't have a mic, so. Otherwise, I can close the Discord because it eats up my CPU to have it open. So you're in the Discord. How do you not have the Discord link? Oh, maybe you're not in the Discord. Okay, I will give you the link. Yeah, join in there and join the general voice channel. And hopefully we can get some insights from a really good player instead of just me just saying common sense stuff. But it's good to get a play-by-play person, you know? Okay. Blocks the bishop's diagonal from coming out, so I don't know if I love that move from green, but I I mean, I guess it makes some sense. I would have just preferred to get the bishop out like this first, especially given that the queen is on this diagonal. You can target the queen, you can target this pawn. Seems pretty nice. So I would have slightly preferred that from red there. But you're developing a piece. It's fine. Plus your knight can get out of the way later and then enable the bishop to come out, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, the knight goes there. Obviously there are ideas of this knight coming here if the queen moves out of the way, and then sometimes like you take and get a strong attack, but this is always a solid square. You keep getting disconnected from my stream? I have no idea. I don't have my stream open because that'll eat up my CPU even more, so I just have this open. But other people can let you know if you're the only one disconnecting or not. Okay, yeah, so for green, this would make sense. It activates your bishop, and it threatens some sort of mating ideas. But red can just go something like this to stop it. So, I don't know. But it's definitely an idea. Okay, does go for it. Thanos likes aggressive lines like this, so I expected something like this to happen. But yeah, red's most likely going to go here. Okay, yes, blocks off this check idea. But yeah, like red seems a bit passive here. Okay, Jay, your mic is working now. Yes, I can hear you. So you do have a mic after all. Congratulations. But you have a lot of background noise, so you might want to fix that. I'm muting you until you fix your background noise problem. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully he can get that resolved, because I do want somebody to join me. It gets a bit boring. Okay, so what happened? Okay, yellow trying to get the rook out from this side. I mean, it's a bit slow. Like, I don't really get the idea of that. It seems like it would be faster to just do something like this to get the rook out, but green just moved the pawn there. So obviously it wasn't an option at that precise moment in time. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of moves. Okay, so yeah, this idea from blue, bam, now this bishop is targeting this pawn, bam, it'll target that rook, bam, it'll target that knight. All sorts of threats will be going on pretty quickly. Okay, so yes, as they flash, this is the idea. You target the pawn, remove the defender, bam, yellow comes in with a check and you can have a nice attack going on. So blue can't take this just yet unless green does something about it. So green comes in here, wants to go for that. Oh yeah, and then there's also this idea of blocking the diagonal. Unmute you, you fix your background noise problem? Okay, we'll see about that. But I can always remute you if necessary. Okay. Okay, I can hear you. Can somebody watching this stream let me know if you can hear Jay? You should be able to. Okay, so red protects that pawn, but now it seems like blue can take. So you can't hear him. Well, he's not talking anymore. He was talking, and then he just stopped. Yeah, Jay, can you say some stuff? You can trash talk the players if you want, or you can comment on the game.
I got you. Just got nothing to say right now.
Yeah, I mean, red yellow were fine at the beginning, but then they just had like these aimless rook moves going on. They didn't get out their light squared bishops, and it seems like blue-green just took the initiative because of that. So, I don't know. Got a little sketch. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was just busy trying to fix my mic, so.
Does snap that off. Pretty sharp move. So blue's almost forced to take here next move. So yeah, red considers taking this pawn here, but then blue can take it back. Yellow will take green's queen, but then blue like has some discovered attack ideas. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But now some fun complications will get going on, and we'll see who calculated this out better. Okay, so it will be a queen trade. No, I can control his volume. He doesn't need to change it. I will just increase his volume myself. You can change user volume. Okay, there. We'll see if that works. Yeah, okay. Yes, green getting the bishop out. I like that. So it just seems like blue-green are better developed. Like, red-yellow, they got their pieces out.
Just take some d4 and that protects the bishop. And that's like hits the queen.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. Now the queen is hanging, so this is getting pretty disastrous for red-yellow. Like, pretty bad. I expected better.
It didn't do that.
This is your 8 seed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, yes, just take there, because blue's going to be taking the yellow queen, so now they can't even take both bishops at the same time. And then just snap off the queen. Classic queen plunder in the 4-player chess world championship. Not the time you want to do something like that, but oh well. I mean, it's never over, but it's still really, really bad. You see people lose queens up all the time. I've seen people lose up 2 rooks. Anything can happen.
You rode near 18.
Okay. Does take the queen. And then they take that bishop. Which makes sense. Actually, I don't know. I think you want to probably be ganging up on blue at this point. Because it just seems like blue's king is a little bit more exploitable. So I probably would have taken blue's bishop there, but at this point, like, I don't know how much of a difference it makes.
Still opens up the center file though. Like, I mean, that could turn into something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I like getting rid of that blue bishop, because now as you can see, the blue bishop, it's sort of shielding the king, whereas otherwise you would have ideas of bringing this bishop out, doing some sort of stuff, like get some counterplay on the board, I don't know. But obviously nothing looks great at this point. But yeah, Michaela now wants to bring the bishop out, but there were like plenty of opportunities to bring the bishop out a long time ago when I thought it was better. Instead, they like fiddled around moving their rooks for fun. And then blundered a queen after that, and then it just started going downhill.
I agree. Actually, like, people hear me?
They should be able to. I can hear you just fine.
Myself just playing with me.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, and then with the other line, the rook stayed on this. I mean, there was the bishop there, so the rook ended up taking that bishop instead of the other bishop. So, whoops. I changed my tab. Okay, now we're back. So yeah, the rook was there, and then it took this bishop, and then all of a sudden that also weakened this file. So yeah, I would have preferred taking the blue bishop on this square on that position. But by that point, they were already down a queen, so things mattered less. Oh, someone else is talking too now. Who's talking?
By that point, they were already down a queen.
Oh, someone else is talking too now. Who's talking? Okay, someone doesn't have headphones because I can hear the echo of the stream, so you might want to put on headphones, whoever you are.
Oh, my bad. I mean, wait, no. I'm not honest with you. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, now the attack continues, bringing in the queen. And like this rook, it took the bishop there, and then it had to come here, and now it's going to have to move again. So really, I would have taken the other bishop.
you should have opened the dark square bishop one move earlier, because like I mean that would be a pretty good attack. Now it's just like I don't know, like you can res knight out of position, but like there's no like great attack going on for red and I mean blue and green right now.
You mean something like L7 so the bishop can go on this big diagonal? Okay.
7, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that would have made sense. I mean, yeah, you want to focus on one person. Like right now, green's trying to attack red and blue's trying to attack yellow, so they're not really coordinated. So yeah, they should be better focused. Okay, but yeah, now this knight, it's going to come in with some check ideas. This blue queen's going to come across, so it's still going to be looking pretty dire for red-yellow, but that's what happens when you're down a queen. So yeah, probably just snap this pawn off, right? I don't know. I could see it. Can Icy get in? Yes, Icy. If you want to. Always more than happy to get a player of your caliber commentating on the game. Okay, yeah. Try to diminish the attack. I like that. But yeah, I guess if your queen takes here, your queen's no longer threatening this rook, so I guess it wouldn't have been a double attack.
Yellow's move, I was considering knight to h10 and then red bishop to I9 to set up attack on the blue bishop and like a queen capture, I guess. But like green knight has a check on red, so I'm not sure how well that would work.
Like that with the knight? Maybe. But I don't know. It seems like okay. So you wanted knight here. Then let's say blue takes. Yellow will take back, and then you wanted red to do something like this, while yellow went after the queen. Okay, I mean,
let me get some headphones.
I can see your idea.
I'm not watching it right now, so I can't see your arrows.
Okay, yeah. It's always good to see people's arrows. It makes communication a lot easier. But yeah, I mean, obviously you do want to get at some counterplay, and sure, that gets an opportunity to win the queen, but I'm sure blue-green would have been able to stop it. Like this knight, it's threatening a check, so that'll always come in handy. And the king doesn't really have a safe square. Like if the king comes here to avoid the check, then the pawn just comes up. You threaten this bishop trade. You threaten the bishop coming out here. Boom, threaten another check. So it doesn't seem like they should be able to do that much. But, I mean, that's what happens when you're down a queen. You don't have that much access to an attack. Okay, yeah. I like that from blue. Just trade off the bishop. Okay, yeah, they do take the bishop there. Okay, so yellow right now can basically attack the blue queen, and that's about it. There's no real other counterplay coming from yellow's end. Blue does have a bit of, red does have a bit of counterplay on blue with this bishop idea, but blue is also in danger of checks, like this knight can come across. Yeah, it was over a long time ago, but, I mean, it's not over until someone gets mated, so we're still going to chill here and watch them play. But yeah, don't blunder your queen. When was it? It was this move, right? Yeah, just this really, really strange move. Really bad knight move. And then immediately after that, that rook move, just blundering the queen. 2 in a row. Not great moves from red and yellow. But yeah, like even before that, I was saying that red should have brought out the bishop a long time ago. So there were ideas I didn't like even before then. But obviously the queen blunder is what lost them the game. Well, assuming blue-green don't throw this. But this is pretty hard to throw at this point. So yeah, so for green, you can see ideas like this. This knight comes in here, it comes with check, and if the bishop moves, then bam, this bishop opens up this diagonal, bam, you take with mate. So, blue has ideas like that. But yeah, right now you just want to be safe. You want to stop any checks from coming in, and immediately the idea is... well, it loses material. It might still work, but it loses material to bishop takes rook. So you might want to get the rook out of the way first before you consider moving this knight. Okay, yeah, green opens up that bishop diagonal. I like it. Knight f3 was bad. They should have moved light squared bishop move 6. Yeah, knight f3 was the move I didn't like. You should have gotten the bishop out. Okay, an interesting pawn advance from green. I mean, I really don't know what the point is. Like, if I were to advance the pawn, I would have gone there, try to kick the knight out. But for now, it doesn't really seem like it does much. Okay, so Icy wanted rook g5 here, cutting off the bishop diagonal, and then green can come in with a check. And then this check leads to ideas where the king can either come here or here. If the king comes here, you take this with a check. If the king comes here, your rook can do something like that. I don't know. But it was definitely an idea to look at.
Hello? Can you hear me, Kayak?
Yes, I can hear you. Awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, who is that?
Can the people in the stream hear you?
This is Jay.
Hopefully the people in the stream can hear you as well.
Who is that?
I have never used Twitch before, so hopefully this stuff just works the way I want it to. Can anybody confirm about hearing Windows in the stream? That would be nice. Okay, yes, I like this move from blue. Cut off the bishop, get this knight in play. Nice. The volume on the other people is very low. I can't do that much about that, but I will try. They also don't talk that much, so some of it may just be them not talking, not me not letting you hear them. But I will try. Okay, yeah, so blue now has ideas of stuff like that, and green trying to access this check. So, trying to go in for the finishing blow here. What? You just came, said like 2 things and left? Okay. And Jay left to get headphones. I don't know if he's back or not. Okay, yes, so Thanos does move the knight, trying to get access to this check. And then after this check, yellow's king will have to come over, and bam, you snap that off, bam, you snap that off, it's checkmate. Yep, so red tries to threaten a check, because otherwise that stuff's going to be mate, so it's good to be threatening a check.
You still take the rook.
Yes, you still take the rook, and then you can take that pawn next move. So now, because green's threatening a check, you don't have ideas of like taking the queen and making a check here. So now green takes this pawn, and then blue next move can move the king over here and make it so that red doesn't have access to a check. That obviously depends on what red moves here. We'll see what red moves, but right now this is threatening to win the game. If the king moves here, red won't have a check next move, and boom, takes, and it's mate. So red needs to threaten a check after the king moves here. I don't know if there's anything they can do about it, though. So yeah, just king moves here for GDII and it's mate. So king b8, mates. We'll see if GDII...
Over.
Yep, GDII finds it. So it's going to be 1-0 for Thanos and GDII. Alright. Don't blunder your queen next time, red-yellow. And we see the resign. Alright. So
what
next,
happened that game? I didn't really get to see. What happened with the queen?
they just completely blundered it. They forgot how bishops move, I
Okay.
guess.
They just left it hanging?
Yes. The bishop opened up a diagonal, and they didn't see it, and then they just lost their queen. All
So,
right.
what'd you guys think of the game so far?
There wasn't much. There was like standard opening stuff. Red made a couple mistakes. Like I think the light squared bishops for red yellow could have gotten out better. Like the whole idea of the of this bishop line, at least as far as I know, is to get your bishop out. They didn't get their bishop out. What are you doing? What's the point of playing this line if you don't get your bishop out? So they just didn't develop. And then, I mean, at that point, it's still equal. Like, sure, you're going first. You should have an advantage. You make a couple mistakes, okay, it's still even. But then you blunder your queen, and then you lost. So, yeah, not much to say about that game.
Okay, that's Kayak's take on things. Have you checked out the rematch yet?
All right, yes, the rematch is getting
Oh
started.
shoot!
Yeah,
Yeah, Blue opened up with this really strange pawn.
fun stuff. Here, I thought Thanos was the one who plays crazy aggressive openings, but no. Blue decides to go with the rook pawn moving out on the first move. If you watch the stream, you can see the commentators' arrows. Well, you can see my arrows. You can't see theirs. Okay, yeah, red yellow just going with what they think should be the standard stuff. If you're not used to what's going on, just do what you're most used to. That's generally a good idea. I like it.
I think Blue just decided to kill a move in order to dodge that dark diagonal.
Yeah, definitely
Because
a
I've seen this
interesting.
from Anuj before, from Did You See That Coming, where he'd open with that knight and then open up that diagonal.
Yeah, normally people like just do a knight move and then they threaten the bishop's trade, or they do a knight move and then they want a queen trade afterwards. Like that's standard. But doing the rook pawn move and then offering a trade, that's a new one. But
What do
yeah,
you think about it so far?
you're referring to like this knight move and then doing this. Yeah, that's pretty standard because then also your rook has access to take back, so it's not as bad. Yeah, queen h12 is what's played. So I see wanted queen h13. I guess to get ideas like this coming in. And then also the queen can come here and threaten on this pawn. But yeah, this was blue-green's idea to get access to these two squares. But yeah, if the queen threatens checks, you can get a nice attack going. The queen can also come here.
J9.
So you threaten this pawn. Yeah, J9 I like. J9 threatens both of their f7 squares. So this queen can come in here for mate, or this bishop can come in here for mate. So yes, they do go for queen J9. But yeah, green can get an attack with tempo by moving this pawn up. Yeah, queen h13, the idea is you take with one queen, they take back, then rook takes, and then you take with the bishop. So green would have had to do something to stop that. Like bringing out the queen here and threatening a check. Instead of being able to do this pawn move.
We might be looking at G12 for yellow here. Try to set up some sort of mate.
Yeah, I can see bishop g12. Well, I'm not talking too much. These people don't talk enough. That's the problem.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks horrible for blue-green already.
It's J cross and clean windows. Okay, so
What do you
Tailgrim
guys think about
Q.
that queen G11 idea?
I think G12 is actually like completely winning. I don't see any obvious ways they can like stop it.
So you're saying just pawn G12, and then you're threatening queen here, and if they go pawn up, you have queen takes here, and then you get a mate in. Okay. Yeah, that does look strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do after that. So the idea was G12, the queen on this square, and then, so yeah, in this position, red would take this pawn and it would be mate. So I'm not sure what they would have done on that.
And blue can't really move that knight either because he's going to get mated himself. So,
Yeah.
position at all.
Really, I used the word interesting opening from blue.
I need to move his queen to F9 to set up the mate, because otherwise the knight move just like pop bishop diagonal. Like, oh wait, never mind.
Yes, the queen can take on D11.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this knight is still stuck. Okay, so they take there, so yellow will most likely take this rook. Yeah, so the idea was the queen now protects this pawn.
This already looks terrible for blue-green. Once yellow picks up that rook, there's not much green can do.
Yeah, queen's just gonna come in like this, and if the knight moves, then you can see the queen come across like this, and the queen go in here. Boom. Okay, yeah, so they do take the rook.
Knight L4, then play knight M8.
Okay, so yeah, knight L4, the idea is there's no mate here because the knight blocks this diagonal, and you get your pieces out. But after that, I mean, yeah, so if red would take here, then you have some double check ideas. Or even just like check and then the knight comes here and threatens the queen. Yeah, I could see knight L4.
I might even consider. I think maybe you should just take it, get his queen out, and try to attack yellow. Knight is worth the time.
Yeah, I would like knight L4. But after knight L4, like, what would red do? Because your queen's sort of stuck protecting this. I would want to do this otherwise, though, to threaten some mate ideas. I mean, I guess you can still go queen k3 after knight L4, I'm not sure.
I'm on a string too.
Okay, so the bishop comes out, so now the problem with this is now this pawn is going to be vulnerable, the m10 pawn. So if yellow plays something like j12 here, you block off the green queen's diagonal and you activate your bishop. So that'll be a nice idea from yellow. So for red, you can take the bishop here. So blue-green can try a double check idea where they go knight here and bishop there, but yellow can take this knight and pin the bishop. So there's no real double check idea going on. Yeah, so, sorry, no, there's no winning the queen idea, but you can still do this check. My mic got broken for some reason? What? I don't know, it's working. I didn't change anything. Did it just break?
I think your mic is fine. I can hear you just fine.
Okay. That's what I like to hear. Now it's again good. That is interesting. Okay.
And once again,
This is interesting.
Easy win, blue-green. Okay, so red needs to do something. Doesn't really matter. You either move the pawn or you move the queen. Then blue can check red again. Right. What happens if blue checks red again? No, but if blue checks red again, then yellow can just stop the mate. And then green can take red's queen, but red takes blue's queen back. So there's no win there. So yeah, this is the idea, I guess. Where the only way to stop mate and stop them from taking the queen is to sack your own queen. So blue-green win a queen here. So I think the cleaner way was on move 3. Jay was suggesting moving this pawn out, activating this queen. and then that would have led to some mating ideas. I don't even know if there was a way to defend it. Maybe there was. Actually, yeah, there was a way to defend it. Green could have gone pawn up one move, and that would have stopped the mate, but it was still uncomfortable there.
It was quite a neat trick. I do have to say, wow, I did not see that coming for blue-green.
Okay, 3 check doesn't work. Blue knight advance. And like even if like let's just say yellow plays knight J12, green has mating ideas on QX I14, and then blue bishop can block at J14.
Yeah, queen takes I14, queen takes J14 as mate here. But green is in check, so it's not going to be mate yet. Okay, yeah, so for green...
That doesn't win a queen.
For green, move your queen over one spot. Yep. Now for
Instead
red...
of blue moving that knight, I'm trying to think if it's better for blue to have moved the queen and check yellow on maybe J11 or K10.
So something like queen F10 in that position, preparing queen
Yes.
at K10 check? Yeah,
Yeah, that way you don't have to lose your knight. And queen K10 is very powerful because that yellow can't really block the knight on K12.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this red move. Interesting move. Well, I'm going to call this one bad. I'm not even going to call this interesting. I'm just going to say bad. Bad move by red.
I have no idea what they're doing.
So yeah, sloppy play in the first two games. Couple queen blunders. Interesting openings.
He's just trying to avoid mate. He probably saw mate coming, so he just wanted to trade off the queens. But this was a nice comeback from blue-green.
Yeah, so blue decides, instead of taking the knight next move, I'm going to move my queen first for no reason, and then take the knight the move after that. So, I don't know about this queen maneuver from blue.
That being said, they have a lot of compensation for this queen. Well, they did until they lost that knight.
Why would you tell Jay to make arrows? That's all he knows how to do.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, so for green you can see, okay, yeah, either that pawn move or the bishop move, and now the idea is to threaten a mate here. I like it. Okay.
So blue could either move out of that check, or he could push E11 in preparation to take on F12 if the yellow knight decides to go there.
But he can just take with the knight, right? Which is, I think, equally good.
That's true, yeah, he can't take with the knight as well.
Yeah, so I would just play, like, king over, or pawn up. Yeah, that works too.
Knight I11, bishop M8, this looks pretty much winning.
So for blue, you just play queen J13 next move, right? Unless, like, red sacks the bishop or something. Knight G11 could also work. But I think queen J13 is probably cleanest. Queen J13 just threaten here. Because, like, if you move your knight out, yellow just moves their knight, right? I don't know. I think
Queen J13,
Queen,
E11.
I mean, I'm sure it's all winning, but Queen J13 seemed cleanest to me. Queen J13, Rook H14. But, like, they can still do that in this line, too, right? I'm not sure. Yeah, or this knight move. Either one.
Okay, now green just takes on J11.
But yeah, you take, and then you take the bishop. Okay, maybe this was better than Queen J13.
I think they're both winning. When you're
Yeah.
up this much, it's kind of hard to mess it up.
I'm sure they were both winning. Yeah, you got to do something like bishop takes c6. You got to threaten a check. Otherwise, you're just going to get mated.
Just losing a bishop.
Yeah, this doesn't do anything. This just gets mated. Yeah, green just takes the bishop. Or, yeah, green just takes the bishop, then blue takes the knight. All right, 1-1.
Wait,
Both teams getting a win as second player. Both games featured...
When is blue-green? Wow.
Yeah.
Looks like the D11 opening paid off.
Yes, it was totally the first move that won them the game, and not red-yellow blundering a queen.
Absolutely. Their position looked beautiful the whole way through.
Yeah. So yeah, Izzy was right. Yellow did win a rook, but it doesn't matter if you're getting checked. Mistake was to take bishop on
I don't
I1.
like how red... I don't think red should have taken that bishop on I1. The position looked very dominating when he took that rook.
Yeah. They had an attack going, instead they decided to take material. Like queen k3 on move 5 instead of king takes I1. Or something like that. Maybe not queen k3 exactly, although it may work. I'm not sure. But something like that. Seemed better than just taking the bishop. It was a good, excellent game. Yep, excellent game. Totally. Yeah, and then the move after, they took the green knight instead of doing something like J12. And then because they took the knight, it enabled this attack from green. So J12 would have stopped that. But instead, they're just like, must take material. Gotta take material.
Yeah, this is exactly E4's style. So what Luke loves to do is he loves to put himself in terrible positions, but he has tricks up his sleeve. And that right there was a beautiful classical trick to win the queen.
Swindling. Nice. Alright, game 3 underway. Let's see if blue-green can take another win. And let's see if they play the Skywalker this time. So again, the king's pawn open. Again, the queen pawn response. Will they go for the Skywalker? Let's see. Oh, he's arrowing it.
Looks like he will.
He's arrowing. Alright. Amazing. That's what I like to see. Alright, so for green, you have this move enabling a queen trade. You have this move enabling a check. You have this move allowing this bishop on this diagonal. I like them all. It's all fine. There's this knight move, there's this bishop move. Okay, goes for the knight move, so the idea of the pawn here is now in this knight move line. This bishop no longer has access to this diagonal because the pawn's in the way. That's why it goes up 2 squares instead of 1. Okay, so for yellow, you can go for the check, or you can get the knight out, or you can block the check. All seem fine. Okay, gets the knight out. Alright, queen check. So, like, blue has ideas of moving this knight out of the way next move to get an attack going. Yeah, I like that from red. Just get the bishop out. Then you threaten ideas of check. This bishop comes in here. Boom. Okay, yeah. So you want to move the knight out of the way to activate the bishop on this diagonal, but that would be susceptible to queen checks like this, so this pawn move here. Cut off the queen check, get this queen activated. Nice move. And yep, block the check, come in with a threat. Okay. Yep. Knight move. I like there. You can also move the pawn, but because your queen's no longer on this diagonal, the pawn move isn't as good anymore. So it's probably just better to develop the knight. So yeah, this pawn under attack. Could see this, could see this, could see knight here. All are fine.
not crazy about how yellow started this game. It's going to be quite difficult getting that queen out.
Yeah,
Likewise,
but
blue is also.
yeah, so that's what happens in the Skywalker. There's the tension along this diagonal. So both yellow and blue have tactical possibilities on them, so they have to play a bit cautiously, and it's hard for them to activate their pieces. But it's a trade-off. So yellow has the problem, but so does blue. Yeah, and as I said, the idea for blue there was to activate the bishop diagonal. Yeah, so they're considering taking here, and then the idea is maybe you can take here and win a piece, but it doesn't really win a piece because green can threaten the red queen. Okay, gets the knight out, so the queen doesn't have access to this diagonal. I don't love it, because now, like, I mean, this pawn is still vulnerable. But I guess that pawn was vulnerable earlier, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, we're being a lot happier this game. Nobody's blundered yet. So far, game good. Yes, nobody's blundered yet. That's a good sign. Alright, so for green, will you try something like this to get your bishop out? The problem is it makes this knight vulnerable. Because then yellow will have ideas like this, getting the bishop on this diagonal, so I don't love it. But then how else are you going to get your pieces out? Right.
Green is quite stuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to open up that light diagonal, but
Yes.
he already has all his pieces developed.
Yeah.
And he can.
So that's like,
Bishops are close dead.
it's hard to even find a move for green here. Like, what do you do? So Thanos just thinking and thinking, what can I even play here? Okay, does go for this. It's a pretty weakening move. I don't know if it's solid enough. But Thanos does like
that at all.
Thanos does like aggressive lines like this, so it's his style. But yeah, the more positionally inclined player is not a big fan of it.
Hey, did you say something? I didn't hear that.
Jay said he didn't like it. So for red, you can do something like queen here,
So I don't like that.
attack this knight, and also enable your pawn to come up to attack this, enable your bishop to take here. Moves the king over. Good move. Okay. I mean, maybe. I think it's a bit passive, but the idea was blue was threatening stuff like this, so maybe it was warranted. Okay. Yeah, pretty common to see these prophylactic moves. And because this diagonal is so close, you don't have to worry about checks coming in from there. Yeah. No check threats. But now blue can still,
Blue
like...
can play C10.
Yeah, blue can still move the knight out of the way, right? So, I don't know. Prepares the attack. So, the question, well, for blue here, do you take the... Okay, they do take the yellow bishop.
But blue's kind of stuck. I bet what he's trying to do is play queen b7 next move and trade queens. Because
Okay.
all his pieces seem to be blocked in.
Yeah. But now also yellow's queen is now active. Like, the queen was sitting there doing nothing. It was hemmed in by its own pawns, and now it's a little active. So, sure, you want to trade queens, but yellow's queen was also inactive, so it's not the best idea in the world, but I can see why they're doing it. Yeah, green, the whole idea of your last move was to take this pawn. So if you play that move and then you don't take the pawn, it's like, okay, my last move was not great. So, makes sense. And now, when you play your queen here, you can get some ideas like this, where you're going to be winning material because of tension on them. So yeah, red's move, like, it makes sense in a positional aspect, but I don't know if it was sharp enough. But Icy liked it, so I'm sure it was decent.
Now blue's going to have an open queen, so he can defend that bishop if he takes on I12. But luckily, red can also put pressure there.
Yeah, so you snap off the knight, remove the defender of this pawn. And now your queen can come in. It's going to be attacking this rook, which means blue's queen can't do anything. So you could even just punt the move and go like this, but then... Okay, they do that. Interesting. So now, if they take here, red takes here, then red's going to be winning this rook, but you get a counterattack on yellow. I think it works for red, though. We'll see.
I think yellow just plays rook h14.
Okay, they do the queen trade. Okay.
Why?
Yeah. I thought this was vulnerable to the queen trade. And then red's queen comes in. You snap off the rook in the corner. Yeah. That was the problem with this move. The queen comes in, the queen takes there. Okay. Yeah, so green realizes, whoops, my partner's going to get mated. Better block this queen diagonal. And that's what they go for. Okay, and then for blue, you're going to take it. You take it with a knight, because otherwise there could be ideas threatening your knight, so it's okay. Yeah, so for yellow, just move the rook over. Yep. And then if green takes here, you move the king over, you save the bishop, and you're up a piece. So yeah, it all goes back to L10 by green, which sort of led to this sequence where blue-green wanted to liquidate pieces because otherwise this knight was going to be vulnerable. But in the short term, it was just vulnerable to this idea. So the king g1 move, I thought they couldn't get away with it because there was going to be too many tactics going on, but it looks like they win a piece in this line, so they were safe enough. Alright. It looks like we'll be getting an endgame, which is good. I like seeing endgame play by top players. If you see endgame play by not top players, it can get pretty sketchy. You want to tear your hair out. It's not the most exciting thing to watch, but if you see these top players playing the endgame, it's great to see their positional skills on display. Alright, so for green, do you proactively trade queens? Or do you not trade queens at all? We'll see. You could have the idea of this pawn coming up here, threatening the red queen.
One problem with trading queens is it opens red's rook pretty much immediately.
Yeah, so that's why I would like moving this pawn out, getting a threat on. Okay, yeah, and Thanos...
And blue-green have very inactive rooks in this endgame, so that might not have been the best option.
Thanos likes queens on the
No
board,
red.
so he doesn't do the queen trade, as expected. Okay, so for red, you could think about taking here, but then blue's rook comes in and threatens your queen, and green can get a counterattack. Like, green's idea here is probably just knight k11 and then knight j13, right? With an attack on yellow, something like that. That's why you want to keep the queens on the board. I don't know. Other people call him Thanos. Ask them. I didn't start it.
Called him Thanos because Malbury Soap Good Soap thought that was actually his name.
Why?
So he exclusively reserved the name for Thanos.
Why do I get called
Well,
Kayak?
it's
I don't know. You know, I never asked to be called Kayak, but here we are. You don't choose your name. You get given a name, and then that's what you're called. Yeah, so for blue, you want to get your pieces out, so you should do that. Okay, getting your pieces out. Pretty good. Material doesn't actually matter. It's about what you're doing with your material. Well, of course material matters to an extent, but it's not all that matters. Let's put it that way.
These pieces are not developed.
Well, yeah, they traded queen so soon that their pieces aren't developed yet. But they're still in the process of developing.
I don't see them getting together and attack anytime soon.
Which side? Both sides?
For blue and green, I mean, red has a queen now, and like yellow's kind of in a sketchy position. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not like yellow's doing much either.
Blue has absolutely nothing in this position. Blue can't do a single thing to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, like this bishop can't even move right now because this pawn is vulnerable. And then this pawn will be vulnerable, yellow can come in, so it's stuff like this. I don't know. So blue can't even like move that bishop. So you have to like move this rook or move this knight first and then you can get your bishop out. It's just so slow. Green has a fine position. It's just that blue doesn't have anything. And the question is like, can they exploit yellow in time before yellow develops? And the answer is probably no. And yeah, now yellow developing, getting that bishop out, getting pressure on this pawn that I mentioned, that's chaining down this bishop. So now you might even have to move this rook here, and then it's like, you're just so passive. How does yellow get out of that position? You just move your knight, your bishop's coming in, you can move your pawn forward. It just seems that yellow has more going on than blue, right? Or even their king position, where their king's just stuck here. Maybe that's what you meant. In which case the answer is I'm not sure. You're probably at some point going to have to give up your rook for this knight. I don't control my mic. I don't know why it's going weird. You cannot hear me. Okay. Well, we'll just hope it magically fixes itself. Yellow can't castle. How can yellow castle? Yellow's king moved. Yellow can't castle. Okay, yeah, red getting more pieces out. That's good. You have your queen out. You have your bishop out. But you got to get more out. So this bishop coming in from here. This knight can come in and attack green. It's nice. Okay. Blue just says, I don't care about this pawn. My bishop's been chained to this pawn forever. Just take the pawn. Which is an interesting bargain. We'll see if it works. But I mean, you got to do something. You can't just sit with your bishop chained there. Your rook stuck in the corner forever. All right.
Thanos has to watch his time.
Yeah. I mean, I go below 1 second all the time. I'm used to seeing low time controls, but I don't know about them. What mate are people seeing? The king can just move over. Oh. Wait, what? Why didn't blue take there? And then take there, and then this would have been mate. Huh. Wait, maybe that was mate in that line, but that's not what happened.
Just weird.
Wait, so for blue's last move, 13, bishop takes e11, king moves over, queen g14 check. Didn't that win? Yes? Yes, I see? Or yes, that loses a rook? Yeah, queen g14 was mate. Okay, yeah. Uh, huh. Yeah, I didn't love yellow's move where they took the pawn. And then I didn't love red's move where you just moved this knight out. It seemed like way too much was going on for a move like that. Instead of going for mate, they decided to win the exchange. Like, it didn't seem like the important thing that was going on in that position. How can you win an exchange when you can mate your opponent? I don't know. It's a pretty big blunder from blue-green. Um, 13 blue. Bishop takes e11. Green. Queen g14. 14 blue. Bishop takes f12. Yeah, there we go. So that would have been the mate. Instead, now blue's pieces are still inactive. Moving your rook over one square. Awesome. I think you have to do something like this pawn move there. You got to do something aggressive. How can you just move your rook over one square in this position? Okay, green getting developed nicely, but blue still sitting in the corner. Okay, yeah, I like that move from blue. You got to do something. You got to make some aggressive moves. But like your other rook is still sitting. Your one rook is sitting here, not able to do anything. The other rook is sitting here, not able to do anything. So, and it's not like your knight's doing much either. So blue in a super passive position.
Oh, wow, what happened? I stepped out to do laundry, and the queens are off.
Yeah, blue green missed a mate while you were gone too.
Oh, wow. Is it like an obvious mate?
It was a mate in 2 or something.
Okay. I'm not liking blue's position at all here.
Yeah, blue's at least trying, but you got to develop. So they're trying to make progress on that front. So they're aware of the problem at least.
After knight c9 takes, and the yellow rook is active.
Who can do something here?
So on that last move for blue, okay, never mind. Green just threatened the check on yellow. I was thinking there's some idea where blue threatens this yellow knight and green gets in a check, but the rook had just moved there, so there wasn't an idea yet. But you could think about something.
Okay.
But yeah, you can still move this pawn here.
Blue-green have that nice idea.
Okay.
D11 blocks that rook and attacks that
Yes,
knight.
so they do move the pawn there. I like that. Otherwise, yellow had an idea of threatening this bishop while this rook was under attack.
One thing quite good about green is that red-yellow have no light-squared bishops, so that king is pretty much safe. And both his rooks are active.
Yeah. But blue's rooks aren't doing anything, so that's the problem for them. And meanwhile, yellow, sure, the rook isn't doing anything right now, but it has an easy way out. So red has the most pieces left on the board. So blue-green should probably be attacking yellow together at this point if they want a way to win. Yeah, and then green can come in with his bishop, get in a check. Yeah, so green comes in with this check. You always want to be attacking the people with the least defensive resources, but because blue isn't active at all, there's not much they can do. Okay, in order to get the bishop out, moves the knight out of the way. Or sorry, in order to get the rook out, moves the knight out of the way. So now green can come in with a check here, and then blue's rook can come into the same square, and it seems like they're getting an attack in, which is good. You want some counterplay. Red trying to get their other rook out makes sense, but there were ideas of attacking green there. Also, Jay, you trade queens
That's
now.
terrible.
You trade queens now.
He does not want to go back.
Do I actually?
Probably lost.
Okay, I didn't love that move from yellow. Well, also the red move was pretty slow. Like, I think you had to attack green there. Yes,
Rook h11 probably.
of course you trade queens now. Everybody knows this. You're a queen trader. Yeah, so now yellow has to move the king over, and now blue is threatening mate, but red can block it. So for green, you could do something like,
It doesn't matter. This
yes,
game is over.
go rook here, and now this rook's...
12.
Oh man, so blue-green really going to win the first 3 games? Is that really going to happen? Blue-green is going to be up 3-0? I think it's happening. So for yellow, you have to go here. Green checks. Yeah, you go there, because otherwise the blue rook comes in with mate, but green can just check you. Yep, green goes for that check. Blue just plays any move, and then comes in next move with the mate. I was hoping for good endgame play. Okay, yeah, so for blue, if you're not in check next move, you have a guaranteed mate. So you move the knight here. You're not going to be in check next move, and then it's mate. What? No! Oh, how do you miss that? I mean, you're still winning. It's still impossible to lose. But you missed a forced mate. Disappointed.
Well, this is... Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, he has that check.
What? Oh, fine, this works. Fine, this works. I don't like it, but it works. Good style. Okay, fine. I preferred knight b7 winning on the spot, but sure. This is style. This gets you style points. And what's really more important? If you're going to win, do you want to win as quickly as possible, or do you want to win with as many style points as possible? Let's be honest. You want the style points.
23 yellow was really bad going back to that back rank with the king.
Yeah. But even before that, like, as people were saying, red activated blue's rook by taking on move 19. Or sorry, not taking on move 19. What move was it? Taking on move 20. Yeah, so sorry. When yellow played move 20, taking that pawn, or sorry, taking that bishop, then you activated blue's rook, and that's when things started going downhill. But I like the idea of knight g9. I don't know if the idea was to take the bishop or not. Probably wasn't, because it seemed like taking the bishop was a mistake. So, yeah, so that was a mistake. You activated Blue's rook. Blue was doing absolutely nothing. You allowed them to open this file, and then they came in with the attack. So I do think 20 yellow was the decisive mistake in this one. There were a lot of mistakes, but I'm going to call that one the decisive mistake. So, okay played, well played is a stretch. Nobody said well played, they just said GG. So, maybe they're aware.
So red was screwing around, doing absolutely nothing for about 5 to 10 moves.
Yeah. Oh, there was also the 12 red move that I didn't. 12 yellow move that I didn't like. Just taking that pawn, and then that's the point where they should have been mated. After 12 yellow, yellow should have been mated, but they missed that easy mate. Well, I don't know about easy. It was. I probably would have found it with enough time on my clock. The question is, how much time did they have there? Maybe not enough. But then even after that, like, red just danced around with this bishop, took this pawn for no reason, moved the bishop back, then slowly got out the other rook. It was just so slow to develop because you danced around with your bishop for a couple moves. But yeah, developing, pretty important. As soon as Blue's rook got out, that's when it started going downhill. All right, can we get game 4? Team Thanos leads 2-1. And we're still waiting for game 4 to start. Is Gustav here? Gustav is here. I'm not sure who we're waiting on. Maybe they want a break, which is okay. Sometimes you need a break after these games where you know you messed up a couple times. It went 28 moves instead of just 10. But hopefully we can get started soon. So have you scheduled your next round match yet? You know who you're playing. You're going to be going up against Jay and Road. How do you feel about your chances? I think it should be an easy win.
Going down.
Are you talking to me, Kayak?
Yeah, I think you should get an easy win next round.
Going down.
Absolutely. It'll be the easiest round of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like to hear.
I mean, if you look at Jerry's regular chess rating, I don't even think it's above 1,000.
Hey, regular chess ratings don't matter. Otherwise, I'd be top 5. But I'm not.
Oh yeah, you'd be top 5.
Well, okay.
With, GM Valgar, GM Raku.
Okay, fine. But I'd be higher. Like, there are people above me, like Jerry, who are better at 4-player chess but worse at regular chess.
Are you admitting that Jerry's better than you?
Ooh.
He is for now. For now. But once I get in however many thousand games... How many thousand games have you played? Let's see.
Jerry's played at least 3,000.
3,500 games. I've only played 1,000, so I need to get in some more reps. And I'll get there.
Okay, I agree.
Meanwhile, Rhodes played 6,000 games, so... that's a lot.
Roppet, I think Roppet has played easily like 7,000 or 8,000. Maybe even 9,000.
Yeah, Rhodes 6,001 games of teams. And these people also play FFA, when FFA is so bad. I don't know how you can play FFA. It's terrible. I'm also the best blindfold.
It's not bad.
I'm the best blindfold player, I'd like to say that.
Yeah, dude, but you versed no competition. You versed like 1,200s here and there. You versed me when my opponent timed out. You can just self-proclaim.
There's no blindfold rating.
Icy,
There's no blindfold rating.
He beat a legit team. Icy beat a legit team while he was blindfolded and they could see.
Okay, but I have a great blindfold record. I can say that.
Okay, you do have a great blindfold record.
I have one loss when you had a legit partner and my partner was some scrub. That was my only loss.
That's true. I do remember that.
That's my only loss. Okay, can we get game 4 started? Come on, guys.
Game 4 is. Oh, are you saying for action to happen?
Yeah. Oh, it did get started. It just didn't appear as a rematch in the log. Okay. All right, so I missed the first 3 moves, but yeah, nothing happened. Okay.
What do you think? You think the series is going to end right here?
I don't know. Blue Green have won most of the game, all the games so far. So we'll see if this
I
streak
don't
can
know.
keep
I
it
think
up.
the way Luca and Michaela played was really bad in that end game last game. This might be it for them.
Yeah, and even their win, like they started off so horribly in their win. So I don't know. Okay, yeah. So what happened in the
That's
opening? They went for the Caro Con. The problem with the Caro is that your queen's just like so restricted. Okay, GDII going with the I'll move all my pawns up attack. I like it. Super Atos also going with the I'll move all my pawns up attack. Awesome. Who needs development when you can just move your pawns? Oh man, are we going to see a queen trade this early? Looks like we're going to see a queen trade.
I believe so.
Okay. Queen trade. Jay, you trade queens! You have no right to talk. You used to never trade queens. Now you do.
Hold on.
Alright, so for red, get your bishop out. For yellow, get in some threats. Get your queen out. Maybe attack this pawn a couple times. But be afraid of this bishop coming out like this. Okay, yeah, it does move the pawn forward. Okay, yeah, I like this for green. You want to create some tension. You want to open up your bishop. It's good. Yeah, so for red, boom, attack like this. Makes sense. Alright, moves the knight back to block this diagonal. The idea was queen here and bishop takes with mate. So the knight move stops that. So maybe like for yellow there, on the previous move, you don't even move your pawn, you just move your knight. Because they're forced to do something about that mate threat anyway, right? But I guess they could do something like rook here to block the mate. But it would still be a threat, right? I don't know. So, yeah, d10 instead. So Icy did like d10. I don't know. I didn't mute Jay. Jay is completely unmuted. His user volume is at 100%. He's unmuted. He's more than welcome to talk. Yeah, so I don't know about d10, but IC did said d10 instead, so must have liked it. But it seemed like that was going to be a strong threat anyway, and you just give them an excuse to move their knight, when maybe they would have done that regardless. So it seemed like maybe knight there would have been more fitting. So yeah, for green, do you want to take this pawn and get in some offensive opportunities on this square, getting your bishop in the game, or do you want to move this pawn out and get this bishop in the game? Both of them make sense. I don't know, Windows, you're the resident positional player here. Would you play k10 in this position?
Would I play k10? I'm not sure. I'm trying to think about bishop m5 right now. I'm not sure. The problem with k10 for me is yellow just blocks it with k12.
Yeah, but you
Think about
force
something that green could do long term.
a threat. I don't know. They do go for k10. But yeah, you're right. k12 could just block it off here.
Just thinking maybe bishop m5, rook n5, just something to get off that dark diagonal so we can finally take on k4.
Yeah. So the problem with taking on k4 immediately is that the red would take here and yellow would threaten this. Okay, Jay, I'm going to mute you now because you have a bunch of background noise. And you said you're not going to be talking anyway, you're just going to be typing. So now you are officially muted.
I actually really hate Blue's position here. He's got so much pressure on that b7 square. He's got Red's knight and Red's bishop pointing at him. And he can't move his queen because the queen is doing some protection there.
C6 or b7? I guess both are pretty weak. Just that diagonal in general. Yeah, this red bishop just like making so many threats. Yeah, so Santox, that's what Windows was saying. You want to get some ideas there, where you take this pawn and finally get some pressure in. Yeah, so red takes here, yellow takes here, right? Icy says blunder, so maybe it works. Yeah, take L5. That's what I think. Oh, okay. So if takes L5, the queen can come across here, defend this bishop. If yellow takes, green takes, red does something, blue takes here. And then this pawn will be guarding that square. So I'm not actually sure if it's a free bishop, but I do think you can still take.
I don't think it's free because of the move order.
Yeah. But I do think you still do it because you force blue's queen to go to that square, right? And then c6 will be hanging the move after. Right?
It doesn't lose anything by all means by taking it. Yeah, you just open up your rook.
Mm-hmm.
But it opens up green's rook as well. So I'm not sure if it was best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a blunder to take on L5.
Yeah, because blue would have to play queen j5 the move after, right?
Yeah, in order to save that bishop.
Yeah, and then c6 just becomes vulnerable. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But they go for this move. It was a free bishop. Huh. Yeah, so the idea of this move, this pawn forward, is you threaten the knight, the queen moves, gets the pin on this diagonal. Okay, so now blue attacks red, threatening to take here, and green takes there. There also might be ideas in the future of taking this knight if this pawn is ever threatened. We'll see. So for yellow, you got to move the queen. Where are you going to move it? Don't blunder your queen, yellow. Okay. Okay, moves the queen there to get this pin. That's the idea. So for green, what do you do here? Do you do something like bishop takes j2? Does that work? You definitely look at it. They do go for bishop takes j2, so I'm going to assume it works. Bluff.
Yellow could just defend.
Icy says bluff. Chatty Gang says it works. Let's see. But yeah, you got to take the bishop. Then blue takes here. Yellow brings the queen in. Green takes here. They move the king over. Blue takes here. And then you take the green bishop. You threaten queen n9, right? I think this is fine for red yellow. Take the knight, says Icy. Interesting. I thought for sure you take the bishop here. I don't know, but I'm sure they're calculating it right now, and hopefully they'll come up with the best move. They castle, so they fall for the bluff. Oh man, they got scared. People so afraid in championship games. Maybe I feel like you have to
So
take
they
the
want to
bishop.
consider knight c4 to knight d2. Then that gives up the pawn on c6.
Yeah, so the idea here is you get rid of this, and then you want to do this kind of a mating thing. Okay, so yellow goes here, which makes sense, defending this pawn. Yeah, I did not like that castle's queenside from red. Did not inspire me very much. I guess bluffing is good, apparently. They fell for the bluff. So, if they were to remove the knight on d6, then the b7 knight becomes vulnerable. And then, I mean, basically at any point, like, red should try to play bishop takes c6, and then get in an attack from there. Yeah, red should just take the bishop back. That's what I was looking at.
Then they want to consider just sliding his king over. Either that or rook a7.
Yeah. Rook a7 saves the rook, so. You could even do rook b4, right? Or is that a little too crazy? Maybe it's a little too crazy.
Whoa.
Okay, so the idea is to cut off the queen diagonal. Or sorry, to cut off the queen file. But I don't know.
Luckily, yellow only has a queen.
Don't time out. Moves the knight there. I'm going to go ahead and say that move is wrong. I don't know what the correct move is, but that cannot possibly be it.
Bishop takes h3 looks pretty strong here.
Yeah.
The idea being queen takes f2. Bishop j7 also very strong.
Yeah, I don't know what yellow is supposed to play there, but that had to be incorrect. Your partner might be getting mated. How can you move your knight there? Like, at least move your rook out, right? Try to get your rook in the defense of the king. That knight is going to take forever to do anything. Okay, so it cuts off this diagonal of the queen. But yeah, I like bishop takes h3. There. To stop this pawn idea. To get some check ideas from queen as well. Okay, goes here. Threatens mate. Yep, queen there. Threaten your own mate. Protect this pawn. And now what do you do for green? Is there even like a move here? It just feels like, I don't know what you do here. Just everything looks awkward. Okay, they do just snap it off. So what do you think of, yeah, I4 here. There you go. Oh no, I4 gets move order mated. Never mind. Classic move order mate. Actually, it's not mate, because yellow's still protecting this pawn, actually. So it would have been a trade. And you're down a rook here, so... Oh man, don't flag. Okay. I never know if players are aware that they're flagging. Like, whenever I go low on time, I know that I'm flagging. It's totally okay. But with other players, I'm never sure. So they're all below 10 seconds here. So this gets interesting now.
Wow, this is an intense game.
Mm-hmm. I feel like blue-green still have to be winning. Like, sure,
Definitely.
blue's a little vulnerable.
They're so low on time, I don't know if they can find an attack, because red just blocked that diagonal.
Okay, now they threaten the queen. And the problem is you can't do like any double
He's gonna
check.
flag. He's gonna flag.
Okay. Gets the move off. And
Never mind.
they're not going to
Close.
flag. I believe in these players enough to not flag.
I don't know about that. He was so close, though.
Nah. Oh, okay. So, sorry. What I was going to say is this bishop is protecting that square, so yellow doesn't necessarily have check ideas. But because the queen moved there, now they do have this check idea all of a sudden. Yeah, that's what I was going to say before you mentioned that blue was flagging. So yeah, now it looks like they've won the queen. I don't think there's a mate. Like, red is thinking, I take this rook, and then maybe I have a check, and yellow has a check, but it doesn't work because the king escapes. Okay, but they do take the rook anyway. Which may or may not be correct. Moves the king over. Right, so you don't allow these ideas. Makes sense. Now for Thanos, what do? Get your bishop out? Or is that too slow? Like, this bishop would take forever to get in the game. You'd have to move this pawn, you have to move this bishop, you have to move this pawn, then you have to move this knight, so there's no way that's correct. You have to do something. I guess that queen move makes...
Knight takes knight here.
Actually, maybe not that queen move, because this blue knight is protecting both the queen check squares, so I don't know what Thanos' last move did. Didn't look like it did much.
Alright, now he just takes that rook.
Yes, queen takes rook. 4-0 blue-green? Whoever doubted blue-green?
Wow, 4-0 blue. We see that.
Alright, so what happened in this one? I hated red castling queenside, and they got mated because they castled queenside, so I'm going to stand by that opinion.
This was extremely well played by blue-green at the end.
Yeah, at the
I did
end.
not see that knight coming in to capture everything.
Yeah, so it was fairly even at the beginning. Blue had that weakness on c6 the whole time, but red's king was also a bit weak. Then bam, 9 bishop takes j2.
This series is so impressive so far.
I'm so excited for this last game.
It's definitely an exciting series. Of course, there have been mistakes, but there have also been good attacks.
Ah, dude, so exciting. Who do you
Yeah.
think you have?
I'm going to go with blue-green.
Like, one more time?
Blue-green all the way.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Yeah, so 10 castles queenside. When I saw that move, I was like, that's a mistake. I still think it's the mistake that cost them the game, because it was even. Red was under attack. Blue was also a bit under attack. There was the weak c6 pawn. But once you castled queenside, red was just getting mated. You had to take back there, and there was no mate. All right. We're getting into the final game here.
Has it started yet?
This has been going on for 1.5 hours. Nice. How long was your series? It was under an hour, right? Well, you won 3-0 because
It was slightly under an hour.
you guys are pretty
Yeah,
good.
I think there were only 3
3-0.
games.
Yeah, you know, Jay and Road, they have to take 4 games. They're not on your level.
Absolutely. That's the only explanation for it. And there's nothing else you can take away from that.
Sorry, Jay. Gotta call it like it is.
This series is so exciting so far.
All right. Game 5. Well, let's get it.
So evenly matched.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no series has perfect play. This is exciting, and what else can you really ask for?
Sure, even the finals with Valger and Rizak last year, they blundered at times. So
Well, I'm sure everybody's better now, but there's still going to be blunders. We're
it
all
looks
still
like the match
improving.
started, Kayak.
Yeah. I tried to join and it said the game hadn't even started yet, so now I refresh the page and I'll be there.
Oh, it's a Skywalker.
That's what I like to see.
Will Luke? Will he? What's it called? Will he do his opening justice with this last game?
Okay, so Thanos again goes for the knight move there.
GDI really likes that knight maneuver. GDI pretty much exclusively does that every single time against Skywalker.
Okay, this is the same moves as last time so far.
Looks like we got fans for GDI and Superatos in the chat.
Last time they played C6 here.
So to answer your question, Skywalker is this opening right here.
So H3, C7, and then H12.
Yeah, the idea of the Skywalker is to get the bishop on this diagonal. And then that's why the defense that blue played was to move the knight here and block off that diagonal. Okay, I think this is slightly different from what happened last time. I think last time they played C6 immediately, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, so just like last time, the yellow queen chilling in the corner doing nothing, the blue queen chilling in the corner doing nothing, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, so for red, what are you going to do? Blue's probably going to play c6 next move. Okay, that's... I don't think that move is ever wrong, playing knight out. How bad can it be to move your knight out?
I agree with you. Knight I3 is always a safe move.
Mm-hmm. Alright, now F2 is threatened. What are you going to do? Alright, that makes sense.
Ayak, if you could, would you bet rating on one of the two sides?
Bet rating? No.
So me and Soap thought if it were possible, I would absolutely bet rating on this.
On who?
Such a strong performance last game. I'm going to say E4 takes this.
So I don't love that move from red. Again, I would have preferred to move that pawn, get this bishop out. I don't know about that pawn move. Unless
to block that diagonal?
Yeah, I would prefer to E3 to D4.
Okay. I think Michaela is more of a conservative player. I don't know if he wanted to open up that diagonal to leave himself vulnerable to double attacks with the queen.
Yeah.
As well.
It's personal preference. Obviously, D4 is not like a mistake or anything. I'm just saying what I would have done.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think last time we had a very similar position, if not the same thing, and green played L10 here. So we'll see if the same thing happens. Maybe it was even the exact same position.
It wasn't the exact same, it was something quite similar.
Yeah. So let's see if green plays L10 here or if they play something else. You disagree? You like d4 more than e3? To come to c5.
See the prophylactic move again, the king g1 that you love so much.
No, it was Icy's favorite move. I wasn't sure about king g1. Like, it made sense. I was just wondering if it was a bit slow. But Icy loved king g1.
All right, so queen l8 is coming. I'll address that.
Queen l8. Okay, attacking f2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke wants to play rook d12. Oh, man.
Luke is full of crazy ideas. I don't even know why he's even looking at that move.
Seems way too slow. Thinking like
Yellow should block off that diagonal and exploit that diagonal on green. E12 and then moving that knight.
So what do you think of d10 here? Then maybe even d9 the move after. And then the move after that you can... basically, d9 the idea is to block blue from trading bishops with you. I don't know. But d10 was an idea there for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's good too. I like blocking that diagonal a lot. So would you block with the g-pawn? Would you protect it with your knight? Protect it with your queen?
Yeah, the idea of protecting with your queen is you also threaten the blue knight.
Okay.
Well,
I think maybe I would play knight g4.
Knight g4.
Yeah.
Maybe. Queen d4. Which square is d4? I still don't even know what squares things are. Sorry, guys. Oh, a queen sacrificed by blue there. That sounds a little insane. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think queen d4 worked there at all. But hey, I like the spirit. Always look at attacking moves. Okay, so what do you do here as red? Like, you could kick out the queen.
It is looking at g3.
Okay,
Yeah, that's probably the
kick out
most
the queen.
obvious move.
I was thinking about rook d3 there. I was feeling rook d3.
d3.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that rook lift, but where are you going to bring that rook?
I don't know. Whatever the future tells, that's where the rook will go.
Whatever the future holds.
Yeah. Alright, so now yellow's rook gonna come into the game. Oh man. Now stuff gets real.
Yeah, rook d9.
Yeah, rook d9, queen takes b9.
Well, maybe even consider g12 and open up that queen. b9, b8, and 8 threat.
Yeah, I like that
You're
too.
gonna take that knight though.
You could even think about something like e12, so your bishop gets active. That I could see as well. Yeah, it appears like they lost a piece here, so... Hey, I have to pause to think about the coordinates. I have to look at the board manually. It's so hard. In two-player chess, it's automatic, but I'm still not used to it. But yeah, it appears that blue-green lost a piece here, so... Maybe their attack
Now it looks like Blue's queen.
was
Blue's
a
queen might enter the game after queen takes J2, queen H1, and then queen takes E10.
queen takes J2 for green.
Yes.
Wait, yeah, why didn't they play that?
I think they what do you think? Just open up that file. Because queen H1 protects rook, and then rook J1's coming next.
Maybe. But then blue can take E10, and then all of a sudden your queen is active. Right? I guess you can take E10 in a line like this also. But now, like, B9 is under attack again. So, like, in queen takes J2, queen H1, sure, then red can play that move next, but you have your own attacking ideas. I don't know. I'm sure they looked at it. So,
You
we'll,
seeing Blue's idea right now? Queen takes E2?
queen takes E2. Yeah, I was thinking stuff like that.
Wow, that is a very strong plan.
That is a very Thanos-like move.
But wow, yeah, that is very.
I don't think it works, but it's very Thanos-like.
Because he's going to take on F1 and H3 as well.
Yeah, it doesn't work, but I admire the effort. How do you think for a minute only to offer a queen trade? Come on. A minute on the clock and you offer a queen trade? I thought like he was thinking some deep tactical lines. He's going to come up with some crazy sacrifice, but no. You offer a queen trade down a piece. Very disappointed. But, like for red, do you even play queen h1 on move 10? It just seemed like the safest option, right? Just play it anyway? Or is that a bit too low energy?
Even without queen takes J2?
Just like preemptively, right? Because green can take J2 now.
That's true. I don't know if I like that, just because it's passive and
Yeah.
take on E10.
Yeah, normally I'm not a fan of low energy moves, but you gotta be safe, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was the safest. Blue-green may pull out another win yet. We'll see.
Looking likely, that's for sure. Actually, blue has almost no pieces, so I don't know about that.
But yeah, blue has like negative development right now. It's really pathetic. Absolutely nothing going on. Okay, yeah, so one idea here that yellow is looking at is you play e9, then you have ideas of queen b7, and if red plays e3, then the bishop can come into a6 and make it mate.
I think queen E10 is also another idea he had in mind, attacking M10.
Yeah, and then again, that blue bishop will be just stuck guarding b10 for the rest of the game. But yeah, blue isn't developed at all, so I'm going to have to give the advantage to red-yellow here. Alright, so here, blue has only one active piece, their queen. So you take blues.
Yeah.
Yes. Completely agree.
Knight K11 is strong.
Okay, yeah, so they saw that idea, and they block off the blue queen here. Sorry, they block off the yellow queen here. Makes sense. Yeah, knight k11
Queen e10 looks
or queen
very
e10.
strong.
Blue is undeveloped and green is toast, so not looking good.
You see in Soap's comment, poor play both sides.
Both sides meaning blue and green. I mean, I don't know what other sides you're talking about. Red yellow have seemed okay.
I think he means everybody. He means the whole game.
No, I know.
How do you think blue will respond or green will respond?
They're looking at queen takes i12, but the problem is red takes on
Doesn't work.
m8,
Red
and
can
then
go back.
yellow moves their queen back. Yes.
Yellow can go back. That's what I meant.
It looks like red-yellow will take a game. That's what appears to be the case.
This looks really bad again.
Yeah, game 2 seems super winnable for red-yellow. That was the mistake. But instead of... They just... they made the mistake taking the bishop on k1 in that game. And then that led to troubles. Yes. Bishop takes l6 here. Then you have ideas of rook h8. Rook takes k8. Stuff like that. I like it.
That just like giving up your bishop for nothing.
Well, but you want to get your bishop out of the way, right? Like, where else are you going to move it?
Yeah, but that also opens up green's rook. I don't know. That knight doesn't seem to be doing much.
But it takes it with
anywhere.
tempo, right? Like any other bishop move, green can address the threats. This move, they can't address the threats.
That's true,
but maybe
I see what you're saying.
I also do see your point where you don't want to attack, where you don't want to trade your active bishop for a knight that's just sitting there.
Not only that, it opens the green rook, the green bishop. Like, before they were just completely trapped.
Yeah, but now the idea is rook h9, rook h9 and queen takes i9, right?
That's true. Rook h9 is very strong. Yeah, because of that, bishop takes l6 is probably great.
Yeah, I think just rook h9 here.
It doesn't look like the...
Rook h9 mating, says Icy.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, red sees it. Red sees it. Yellow acknowledges it, and it should be game.
Red sees it, yellow wants it. Yeah, that might be game right there.
Looks like it. But you gotta play it. Oh, yeah, rook h7 also strong with queen n7 coming in afterwards.
Kayla likes rook h7, though. I don't know.
I think they both work.
Both winning. Yeah, that looks like mate, too.
Coming up on 2 hours, we're gonna finish. So,
Wow.
exciting stuff for sure.
Exciting games. Not one of these were boring.
Yeah, I was not able to watch the full series of any of the other ones, but I'm sure those were also fun to watch too. Blue desperately trying to develop a bishop, but it's way too late.
That's true. Game 1, Valkyr and Icy versus Anemedov and Street. That was so exciting to watch.
Were Valkyr and Icy in trouble?
They were absolutely in trouble.
Oh man.
But then no game were close. No games were close.
Wow. So Michaela and Luke, congratulations to them winning 3-2.
Yes, they've gotten a date with Icy and Valkyr. Well earned.
Yeah, that's true. They won just to get Icy and Valkyr.
Yeah.
I guess this match didn't really matter because the versus Valkyr next.
No, but it's a learning experience. You might even win one game. Like, I'm not going to say anybody's going to beat Icy and Valkyr in 3 out of 5, but maybe you can win one game, you know?
Okay, so Icy, you guys were not in trouble, but I don't think I've ever seen Valkyr that stressed out. Valkyr was really stressed. He was just following Icy's arrows for a good half the game. And then not following it the other half the game. Icy really wanted this beautiful queen sack, but Valkyr didn't want it.
Yeah, I've never seen Valkyr play
If you
live.
haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it.
But I can't see the arrows now, so it's too late. All right.
That's true. You could try to look back at so IC has the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Every single World Championship video on there.
All right. Okay,
I'll send you the
people.
link after this.
Thanks for tuning in. Got a good match. I will be playing tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys can watch that, and hopefully, I will play like a 2100 instead of a 1900. But we'll see. I've not been playing well lately, so hopefully, I can snap out of it.
Wish you the very best of luck in that, Kayak.
Yeah, and then after I beat Reza and Raku, I play you the round after. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'll be waiting.
Yes, I expect to see you there. And also thanks Jay for joining for a bit, but unfortunately he had a lot of background noise and he wasn't talking much, so I had to mute him. But he did make a couple contributions.
So you unilaterally decided to mute him. I understand.
Yes, and tune in tomorrow. And for the rest of the matches as well, they should be on the calendar. Or, not the calendar, but they should be announced. So, see y'all then.